This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium short take. This Infinium short take is entitled Keep Looking at the Layers. Now, my MGTOW brothers, over the past holiday weekend, there was another company-wide debacle which caused a company to have serious debilitating issues to the extent that basically things ground to a halt for this company. And like the Facebook debacle, which occurred a week or so back, the explanations for the issues that this company faced were very simple types of things, which the company tried to explain away something that was, again, quite debilitating for them, which caused a lot of loss for them. But again, the issues that this company faced in terms of what happened, they feel were very simple issues. The company involved was Southwest Airlines. And what happened, basically, again, hundreds of flights were canceled, thousands of passengers were stranded, hundreds of pilots could not get to their planes, hundreds of planes were not positioned for the pilots to fly them, and on it went. Now, during all this, there was no catastrophic failure of a computer system like their ticketing system or their logistics systems or anything like that. There was no indication that there was a serious computer problem which caused this type of failure. Instead, the failure was attributed to, again, planes not being in position properly, hundreds of planes, hundreds of pilots not being in position, weather, all types of things. Now, I'll state again, there was no catastrophic failure in terms of what happened, in terms of, again, a major system going down. And if you look at all the explanations which were trotted out by the airline representatives and the representatives of the pilots of Southwest Airlines, uh, the issues involved were like weather. We couldn't get this plane to point B from point A. We couldn't get a pilot from point B to point A, that type of thing. And on face value, if you don't look at the issues, well, yes, that can happen. But if you do look at the issues, if you do look at the layers, my brothers, there are a lot of things which point to another explanation other than what Southwest is saying. For instance, if you look at the weather, if the weather conditions were so severe, there would have been ground stops to the degree that other carriers, which fly out of the same airports like Southwest does, there would have been ground stops. There would have been cancellations on other carriers like United, all those things, Alaska Airlines, all those airlines. There would have been that type of thing going on. Yet none of that happened. Again, if you look at Southwest as a whole, Southwest is a very efficient company, so to speak. And if, again, a system failure, like a computer system failure, did not happen, how is it then that a big company like that could have such a large logistical failure? That is not possible because companies like this have backup plans within backup plans to keep things going. Because the major thing with these companies is profit, and they want to keep profit on top of things. So again, Southwest is not like NEM's one plane airline, which is flying out of Teterboro Airport in the metro area of New York. It is a big carrier. And again, Southwest is known for their efficiency and their value. And that's why people use Southwest. Again, it's not NEM's little one plane carrier, which is something like that happened with her little carrier, it would be understandable. And again, just looking at the layers, my brothers, the questions that pop into mind make no sense of what Southwest is saying on face value. So the central question is, could it be, and I have to be careful about how I say these things, because if I say it in a direct manner, my channel will be deleted, most certainly. But could it be a certain mandate cause Southwest Airlines personnel and pilots to say, well, I'm not going to take that anymore. And we're going to throw a wrench into the works and show Southwest Airlines that we will not stand for this. Even though Southwest Airlines is saying their pilots representative was on the news, all over the news over the weekend, saying that no, we would never do such a thing. We would never bring Southwest to its knees. We would never strand passengers. But that's what exactly happened, my brothers. And so again, my brothers, the things that are being said versus the things that actually happened are leading to another conclusion. And to say, for instance, basically, again, that the pilots would not do such a thing versus actually what happened. You see, my brothers, again, there is a multi-layered effect here. And there's one layer saying this happened, but there's another layer saying or indicating that what actually happened was due to things being mandated, so to speak. Now, my brothers, I've said all of this to say that, again, when it comes to the issues that New Waltz are now saying about they are not like the feminists who cry out against the patriarchy, all those things that are going on. They are not these types of women who are protesting and saying that we don't need men. We need men like a fish needs a bicycle. These New Waltz are running around saying that they now need us. They now want us in their lives. Some are even saying that they need men to do the heavy lifting again because they can't do it. All those types of things. Like the Facebook debacle, like the Southwest debacle, my brothers, again, look at the layers of what's being said versus what's actually happening. The women that are saying that we want men back are, again, not saying anything about changing the laws of the land. They're not saying anything about stopping divorce rate. They're not saying anything about stopping the ludicrousness of a man being thrown into jail for just smiling at a woman. They're not saying anything about laws being passed that say that if a man donates to a sperm bank, he is liable for the children or any children that come as a result of his sperm. They're not saying anything about that. They're not saying anything about the unfairness, but they're saying everything about they want men back. But what do they want men back for? Is it to have a man who will lead them, who they will submit to? Or is it just another ploy to entrap men into their Venus flytraps so that they can be enslaved in the slave pits of the feminist plantation state? I will say to you, my brothers, one of the main benefits of red pilling and then following a philosophy like the MGTOW philosophy is that it gives you the ability, again, to critically think and to weigh out these things, the layers that are being presented before you, and to see through the things, the obvious, which is actually hiding the truth behind the matter. So that's why, my brothers, again, a daily regimen of red pills and a daily embracement of the MGTOW philosophy is important to you. And yes, although there is some push to not be labeled so much as MGTOW or whatever, the basic tenet of the MGTOW philosophy remains. And that is to be a man who is free, who is going his own way on a pathway which takes him to freedom. And whether or not you call yourself as MGTOW or not, that basic desire to be free, that basic desire to go your own way in freedom and to live in freedom from the feminist plantation state will always remain. My brothers, again, you have a wonderful benefit which is afforded to you by the MGTOW philosophy, which is afforded to you by red pilling. And that is, again, to think and to critically think and to have your eyes open to a pathway which takes you to ultimate freedom. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium Short Take. My MGTOW brothers, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.